The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
A number of years ago, I had the privilege of going to visit every week in a prison in upstate New York. Every single week I went. Every single week I went to learn with the prisoners. I went to pray together with them. We went to discuss things and to give chizuk, to give inspiration, to give some encouragement to people that were incarcerated. Well, there was 1 week, it was during the Yom Noraim, that they asked me if I would like to go to those people that are doing hard time inside the actual penitentiary, those particular prisoners that had very little freedom in their entire life, just like you read about. And I said, of course, wherever they're Yidden, I want to go. Wherever I could be of help, I want to be there. And so I went together with a number of people. And there, it was a daunting experience. When I went into the prison, first of all, they checked me completely. I had to take off my belt. I had to remove my shoes. They stamped me with a special stamp. They took my license. They took my information. I had to sign. And I had to go inside together with a special warden that was going to watch over my entire trip. I came inside, and they brought the inmates, Achenu B'nai Yisrael, into a common area, sort of like a gym. And they all gathered around. There were guards there, and I began to say Divrei Chizuk. I began to talk to them words of inspiration, to tell them about Torah, to tell them about mitzvahs, to tell them that they're not forgotten, that one day, Be'ez Hashem, they will continue and they will go outside and they will be able to continue their life as it was before. And no one should give up hope. Never, ever. And I talked, we sang, it was the end of the 2 hours, and it was time to go. I will never, ever forget what being in that confinement was for those 2 hours. I looked at the ceiling. The window must have been 50 feet up, and yet it was barred. No way to get out of that place. As I was leaving, a young man, a frail-looking young man, runs over to me. Rebbe! I said, yes? So he says, I want to speak to you for a moment. And he begins to speak in Hebrew. He told me, I don't know how I'm going to survive. And he begins to cry. He tells me that he was caught with drugs. Unfortunately, he was caught with a lot of drugs. He said, I am right now facing a sentence of 8 years. 8 additional years. To me, he said, it's Netzach Netzachim. It's eternity. How could I last for 8 years? He began to ask me what to do. I told him, although it says, a prisoner, ein chavush mater atzmo b'beis asurim, that a prisoner cannot get himself out of prison. Reb Aryeh Leib Tzin says no, a prisoner could. If he prays to Hashem, if he's mispalo, if he uses the key, it may be possible. He asked me would I pray for him. I took down his name, Meir Ben Chana. And I told him, every single day I'm going to pray for you until you leave, until you're free. Well, I left the prison that afternoon as the sun was setting. It was very difficult to leave. It was very difficult to leave Meir Ben Chana and the others behind. And so the very next day I began, every single day, praying for Meir Ben Chana. About 3 months later, I get a call from a local car service. There's an individual that tells me that Meir Ben Chana just received word. He is going to be free. They're going to let him out from the prison. There's a new program from the governor in which those prisoners which were there for exactly the reason he was, are going to be let home, and they will be monitored in a special way. Jumped for joy. I couldn't believe it. And it was approximately a month later that there was a Suda Soda, a Thanksgiving Suda for the celebration of the freedom of Meir ben Chana. We all have that key. We all were given the mafteach by the king, the Melech Malchei Amlachim. We just got to use it.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org